At Itawamba Community College, your education is our priority. With a 20-to-1 student-teacher ratio, you will get the help that you need from your instructors. With 3 locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden, ICC offers classes that will prepare you to enter almost any job field of your choice. Apply online today at apply.iccms.edu and come be a part of our ICC family. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Good afternoon and welcome to this Monday edition of Live with the Tribe here on ESPN 95.1 The Fan, and maybe even those that are listening on ESPNMISS.com. We do greatly appreciate everyone that has tuned in every noon, Monday through Friday, for this Live with the Tribe. We've got a lot of great feedback from fans that have been able to listen in and maybe even watch some of the, or listen to some of the replays online. And in case you would like to do that, or if you missed any previous episodes, we encourage you to go check out our YouTube page by searching Let's Go ICC, or you can search Live with the Tribe on YouTube, or they're also available on our Let's Go ICC TV channel. Just simply go to the On-Demand section. You'll see a tab where it says Live with the Tribe. You can click that, and then you'll see a little playlist in the option up in the upper right-hand corner of the TV screen. You can click that and click on watch or listen to a show you might have missed earlier on this year. So with all that said, now let's take a look back at what happened this previous week here at ICC, thanks to our friends at the Sonic in Fulton.
$2.99 for a Car Hop Classic. What a steal.
Steal. That's a heist. Put this on.
Oh, disguise.
I don't think I can eat in this.
It's all part of the plan, my friend.
Get a quarter-pound double cheeseburger or a Slinger Plus Tots for $2.99. Try it today.
On Monday, the Lady Indians improved to 16-2 when they rallied from a 13-point second-half deficit to complete the season sweep of Northeast with a 79-76 win in Boonville. The Lady Indians improved to 8-0 in North Division play to stay in first place. Kaylin Wilson of Columbus nailed a jumper to put the Lady Indians up 75-74 with 22.5 seconds left to play before Shania Buford of Abbeville nailed a pair of free throws to put the game on ice in the final seconds. Deja Rogan of Northeast sprinted the length of the floor, hit a layup as time expired to make it a 3-point game at the end of the night. Buford scored a team-high 19 points, while Kaylin Wilson, Zaria Jenkins, also of Columbus, and Tabria Gandy of Starkville each added 14 points, while Keely Wilson of Olive Branch came off the bench to score 10 in the victory. The win was the 14th in a row for the Lady Indians and keeps them in first place in the North. Also on Monday, Rance Champ of Shannon scored 13 of his career-high 16 points in the second half to help the Indians pick up a 73-61 upset win at Northeast on Monday. Leading 50-48 with 9:03 left in the second half, the Indians matched the Tigers shot for shot before Champ drilled a three-pointer near the ear of the Tiger at half court and followed up with an uncontested layup to give the Indians their large lead of the night at 71-59, and, quite frankly, it started to send the fans to the door with about 1:32 left in the game. Madarius Hobson of Hulka scored a game-high 19 points, while Anthony Diggins of Greenville came off the bench to score 14 points and grab 12 rebounds for his third double-double of the season. The Indians improved to 9-10 overall, and they climbed back in the chase for the playoffs with a 3-5 record in the North. Moving on to baseball, from Saturday, the Indians held off a pair of late rallies from Snead State to sweep the Parsons with a 3-2 win in Game 1 and an 8-4 win in Game 2 to open the season. Jackson Lancaster of Corinth was red hot. He went 6 for 7 with a walk, 2 doubles, and 2 RBIs in Saturday's doubleheader. In Game 1, the Indians took a 1-0 lead when Kyle Krieger of Corinth came around to score when LaBryant Sedale of Belden reached on an error in the bottom of the first. Krieger would give the Tribe a 2-0 lead when he reached on a 2-out walk and scored on a double by Lancaster in the second. Lancaster drove in Krieger again for the eventual game-winning run on a single in the fourth inning. Snead State rallied with a pair of runs in the top of the sixth to make it a one-run contest. Krieger came in to pitch with the tying run in scoring position before getting a strikeout and hauling in a ground ball to get out of the inning. The Indians loaded the bases in the bottom of the sixth but could not push across an insurance run before heading into the final frame. The Parsons got a single to start the seventh and stole a base to move the tying run into scoring position. Then Snead State attempted a sacrifice bunt, but a heads-up play by Krieger, going to third to get the lead runner, removed the tying run from scoring position. Snead State had runners on first and second when Krieger got a strikeout, and Austin Powell of Star City, Arkansas, threw out a runner trying to steal third to end the game. Mississippi State signee Houston Harding of Walls picked up the win after giving up one hit and striking out 2 in 4 innings of work. Krieger gave up one hit and struck out a pair of batters in 2 innings to earn his first save of the season. The Indians had 5 hits in the win, with Lancaster going 3 for 3 with an intentional walk, a double, and 2 RBI. In the second game, the Indians were powered by clutch 2-out hitting as they swept the Parsons with an 8-4 win in the final game of the day. Kylan Carter of Houston and Brett Coker of Hendersonville, Tennessee, each had 2-run singles with 2 outs in the bottom of the first to help the Indians take a 4-0 advantage. With 2 outs in the third, Lane Domino of Fulton pushed across a pair of runs with a single. Braden Ellis of Saltillo followed with another single to put the Indians up 7-0. Carter scored on an error to put the Indians up 8-0 after 4 complete. The Parsons bat heated up to plate 4 runs in the top of the 6th, but the Indians took care of business in the 7th to pick up the win. ICC churned out 11 hits in the game, with Lancaster going an impressive 3 for 4 with a double, and Coker adding a pair of singles and 2 RBI. Austin King of Fulton got the win after giving up 2 hits and striking out 2 in 3 innings of work. Also on Saturday, the number 10 ICC softball team overcame a sluggish afternoon at the ballpark to earn a split with Jackson State out of Tennessee in their home opener after rebounding from a 5-2 Game 1 loss with a 2-1 win in walk-off fashion in the nightcap. In Game 1, the Lady Indians took a 1-0 lead when Rachel Sternisha of Olive Branch tripled and scored on a sacrifice fly by Maddie Miney of Olive Branch in the bottom of the third inning. The Green Jays, however, answered with 3 runs in the fourth. Macy Cox of Troy, Tennessee, singled and advanced to second on an infield single by Ellie Miney out of Olive Branch before scoring when Sternisha reached on an error to make it a 3-2 contest after 4 complete. Once again, Jackson State had an answer. The Green Jays added a pair of runs in the 5th to take a 5-2 advantage. Jackson State threw out a runner trying to score from second on a single by Summer Kreider of Tupelo in the bottom of the 7th before getting a ground out to third to secure the 3-run victory. Ellie and Maddie Miney combined for 4 of the Indians' 9 hits in the game. Ellie was 2 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. Maddie went 2 for 3 with a double and an RBI. Olivia Burns of Grenada was the pitcher of record after giving up 5 runs, only 2 earned, on 4 hits while striking out 8 in 5 innings of work. In the second game, Joanna Vasquez of South Haven delivered a 2-out double to the gap in left to score Maddie Miney to help the Indians earn a split with Jackson State with a 2-1 win in walk-off fashion in the bottom of the 7th. Miney drew a 4-pitch walk and stole second to help secure the late-game heroics. The Indians took a 1-0 lead when Ellie Miney scored on a sacrifice fly by Hannah Sparks of Manatachee in the 5th inning. The Green Jays were able to take advantage of an ICC error to tie the contest in the top of the 6th. Mary Kate Butler of Pontotoc picked up the win after replacing Kaylee Nelson of Moulton, Alabama. Butler tossed a hitless top of the 7th inning. Nelson gave up 1 run, it was unearned, on 3 hits with a strikeout in 6 innings of work. The Lady Indians and the Indians tennis matches against Holmes that were scheduled for Saturday were canceled, and right now there are no plans to make those matches up. So that was a look back at what happened last week thanks to our friends at Sonic. Now it's time to take a look at what's coming up at ICC presented by our friends at Little Caesars right here in Fulton.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
Well, we found out late Sunday that today's softball games were pushed up an hour And if they're being played right now, well, they're probably in the middle of the game one. Softball is at Bevel State with game one starting at 11 o'clock. So that means game two should start right around that 1:45, maybe even 2:30 mark there in Alabama. The basketball teams will hit the road to Mississippi Delta here in a few moments. The First American National Bank opening tip is scheduled for 6 o'clock for the women and 8 o'clock for the men. Now, there'll be no broadcast here on ESPN 95.1 The Fan or Let'sGoICCTV.com, but we will have the links available to the live stream presented by Delta on Let'sGoICC.com and also on Twitter. Tuesday night, the ICC Most Beautiful pageant will be coming your way at 7 o'clock at the Fine Arts Auditorium. Late last week, there were very few tickets remaining for that event, and if you're interested to see if you can find some tickets, they're only $7. Just visit iccms.edu/ticket. That's iccms.edu/tickets. If you can't make it, or if the event happens to be sold out, it'll be streamed live on Let'sGoICCTV.com. Once again, that's the ICC Most Beautiful pageant, 7 o'clock Tuesday night at the W.O. Benjamin Fine Arts Auditorium on the Fulton campus. Wednesday, softball returns to Fulton versus Snead State at 2 and 4 o'clock. Those games will be available on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Red Channel. And then Thursday, basketball returns to the Davis Event Center against Coahoma. It'll be Breast Cancer Awareness Night. We'll talk with Coach Nancy Gray about that event a little bit later on in the week. But the First American National Bank opening tip for that game is scheduled for 5:30. The men will follow at 7:30. Of course, we'll be coming your way right here on ESPN 95.1 The Fan and ESPNMISS.com and Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Red Channel, at 5:20 with the Davis Ford pregame show. And if the week doesn't sound busy enough, well, we still got a lot more to go. Friday, the tennis teams are scheduled to be at homes, but there are some chances those matches will get relocated. But if not, right now they're scheduled for 1 o'clock in Ridgeland. Saturday, softball will be at Marion Military in Alabama. Game 1 is scheduled for 12 o'clock, and our plans are to stream that one on the Red Channel of Let's Go ICC TV. And then baseball, they will host Rend Lake out of Illinois. Game 1 is scheduled for 1 o'clock, and those games will be available on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Blue Channel. And finally, Sunday, the baseball team will take on Lakeland, also out of Illinois. That game 1 scheduled for 12 o'clock, and it too will be available on the Blue Channel. So that's what's coming up at ICC, and I tell you what, folks, it's a busy week, crossover season for all of us. So the Sports Information Department, we are hitting the ground running. So this is what we got coming up on today's show. We'll talk with ICC baseball coach Rick Collier about the Indians' season opening sweep of Snead State. Then we'll talk with ICC softball coach Andy Kirk about the number 10 Indians split with Jackson State in softball. And we'll get a very few words from JoJo Vasquez about her game-winning hit in Game 2. Also, this past weekend, we had a chance to catch up with some former ICC baseball players. A couple of guys now playing some minor league baseball, Tyreek Reed and Delvin Zinn. And we also had a chance to catch up with current Ole Miss baseball player Hunter Neighbors. All that will be coming your way here on Live with the Tribe. After these words from our sponsors and more, back with more right after this.
Student involvement is a top priority here at Itawamba Community College.
If you want to be involved with student government, then the Student Government Association is the place for you.
If you have a stellar GPA, then Phi Theta Kappa is for you.
If you're interested in the diverse culture of our campus population, then the Diversity Club is for you.
If you're interested in leadership and service, then Indian Delegation is for you.
If you're majoring in computer programming or computer networking, then CPNA, the Computer Programming Networking Association, is for you.
If you're interested in good conversations and free lunch on Thursdays, then the Wesley Foundation is for you.
Our health science programs also have specific organizations for those majors.
Student Activities is excited to bring you new opportunities here at the ICC Tupelo campus.
Whatever your passion may be, we have a place for you.
This video is brought to you by Phi Theta Kappa, Beta Chi Sigma, Tupelo campus.
Ever since you got that license, you've been on the move. We get it. With Student Checking, we have the tools to keep you going. Take care of that check from grandma without stopping at the bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And we'll even pay you back for ATM fees. So keep on going, and we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
My name is Munn. My first experience here was in 1999 to 2001. I was actually here on a basketball scholarship. Just mentally, I don't think I was ready for all the independence that a university may offer someone. So it just it gets you prepared. When I left the first time, I continued my basketball career at Delta State University. I was majoring in computers. Once I got probably to my senior year, I didn't really want to do that, but I went ahead and finished that out. And I was talking to a good friend of mine one day, and he mentioned the physical therapy program here, and so I just went and observed some other people in that field, and then I applied, and I got into the program here, and it was like love at first sight. I work at the hospital there in Tupelo. I've been in the acute rehab for 10 years now. You definitely should come to Itawamba or to ICC. Like you said, economically it makes sense. And then the relationships that you would develop, the friendship, the experience that you develop is priceless.
And welcome back to this Monday afternoon edition of Live with the Tribe here on ESPN 95.1 The Fan and ESPNMISS.com for those that might be listening online, or maybe you're listening later on our YouTube channel or Let's Go ICC TV. Either way it goes, we do appreciate you tuning in here to Live with the Tribe. Before we move on to our next segment of the show, we do want to remind everybody that you can keep up with everything ICC athletics by following Let's Go ICC on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. And as we've mentioned before, you can search Let's Go ICC on YouTube to find us there as well. While you're there, why not just go ahead and subscribe to our channel? We've picked up a lot more subscriptions over the last week. I know at one point we had picked up 30 new ones a couple of weeks ago, and then I believe we've added 25 more over this past week. So we do appreciate everyone that does follow us there on social media. Hit us up. Let us know that you're listening. At Let's Go ICC on Twitter. We'll like and maybe even answer a few questions if you want to ask them some questions on our social media platforms as well. So we talked about it earlier in the show. The ICC baseball team opened the season with a 3-2 and 8-4 wins over Snead State on Saturday. Lee Adams, the assistant SID here at ICC, had a chance to catch up with Coach Rick Collier after the game.
All right, Coach, able to start the season off on the right foot, getting 2 wins over Snead State. Talk a bit about the games and about those key 2-out hits that you were able to pick up all day.
Yeah, we do that a lot at practice. We tell them game winners is the last round of each at bat in practice, and they get used to us saying that's a game winner right there. So we had a lot of good 2-out hits, and I'm just proud of the guys. They working hard, and there's a lot of competition out here. We played about 5 or 6 different guys in the second lineup, and they came out and swung the bat well and put up 8 runs. That's good. When you got somebody pushing somebody, that's always good.
Okay, well, talking about one of your sophomores today, Jackson Lancaster, seemed that the ball must have been a beach ball floating up there today, the way he hit the ball. Just talk about him and his performance at the plate today.
Oh, that was big. First game, that was I gave him player of the game in that first game. He had all the RBIs, I think, or 2 of them. He was 6 for 7 on the whole day. He works hard. He works on spraying that ball in batting practice, and not a selfish guy. Gets up there and just hits what a pitcher throws him.
All right. Well, over the 2 games today, just talk overall about how your guys performed.
I'm excited. They, to do what they did today on opening day, and they know what they got to work on and come out with 2 wins. I'm just excited about it.
All right, Coach, congrats on the opening day sweep, and we'll see you next weekend.
Thanks.
On the other side of campus, the number 10 ICC softball team split their home opener with Jackson State after dropping a 5-2 decision in Game 1. Joanna Vasquez helped the Lady Indians pick up a 2-1 win with a walk-off double in the bottom of the 7th. And once again, Lee Adams was there to talk with Joanna and Coach Andy Kirk after the game.
All right, JoJo got the big walk-off hit there in Game 2. Just talk about that at-bat there to get the win.
Well, before she threw 3 straight balls, so I was just waiting on my pitch, and when I got it, I just took it.
All right, well, just talk about that feeling of getting that walk-off hit for your team.
It felt good. They were pumping me up from the start, like when I went up there with 2 outs, and it just felt good.
All right, Coach, had your home opener day against a tough Jackson State squad. Just talk about today's game and the big hit that JoJo got to seal the deal in Game 2.
You know, it's tough playing a team 2 weeks in a row. It almost feels like a little bit like football, back-to-back Saturdays, and having to play the same team twice. I thought Jackson State did a good job making adjustments. Their pitchers, we had trouble with the pitcher through in Game 1 today with we got 6 runs on her first 3 innings up there, but then for 3 innings she shut us down before we got to some of their bullpen, and just had a hard time getting in the bullpen today. And JoJo, she faced that pitcher in Game 2 3 times and hadn't had a lot of success, so I felt very confident with her going up there for the 4th at bat.
Okay, well, just talk about that Game 2 and pitchers duel. Really, both pitchers were shoving it a little bit. Just talk about how your girls were able to prevail and get the Game 2 victory.
Yeah, birthday girl Kaylee Nelson just threw excellent for us. Just kept us in the game. The 1 run they got, they took advantage of us like we do a lot of teams, and a girl scored from second base on a ground ball to the infield. And we had 2 freshmen involved in that play, and got to make some adjustments. But to say everything in the world about Kaylee Nelson, she just pounded the zone, and then our everyday Eddie, I guess you would say, and Mary Kate Butler, she just came in and shut the door for him and kept us right where he's at, so we could get the big hit by Joe. Maddie Miney scoring, and Joe getting a big hit there to end the game.
All right, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
And as we mentioned earlier in the show, we had a chance to catch up with some former ICC baseball alumni, and when we talk about any of our former ICC family members, we do want to take time to mention the ICC Alumni Affairs and Foundation. Dr. Jan Reed Bunch, Jim Ingram, and Tilda Bushline doing a great job for a very, very, very important factor of the college. So if you'd like to find out how you can contribute to Itawamba Community College, either through the foundation or even become a member of the ICC Alumni Association, we encourage you to visit iccms.edu. That's iccms.edu. Simply search alumni or foundation. So the players we had a chance to talk to, Tyreek Reed, a former baseball player, now with the Texas Rangers organization, and Delvin Zinn of the Chicago Cubs organization will be our first 2 interviews. And then we'll wrap things up with Hunter Neighbors, a current member of the Ole Miss Rebels baseball team, as these ICC spotlights are being presented by the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
Hey, Devin, Tyreek, good to have you guys back on campus here for opening day. Just talk about what brought you back to ICC today other than the game.
ICC has always been good to me, so I always come back as many times as I can. Got to see Rick, great guy. Some of the old teammates still around, so yeah, I come back and see them.
Pretty much the same for me. Got to come back and see Coach Carter, have fun with him, talk with him, pick his brain. It helps me still to this day.
Okay, well, just talk a little about what being a member of the ICC baseball team meant to both of you guys as y'all both went on to be professional baseball players now.
I just feel like it's a family thing now. I come back and everybody's greeting us, so it's been a big family here.
ICC pretty much was like the best thing that happened to me for baseball. Met great people, played great baseball. Just a great atmosphere.
Okay, well, both of you getting ready to head out to spring training. Just talk a little about that and what you've done this offseason to prepare to get ready for spring training.
This offseason probably been my best one. I put on 7-8 pounds. I've been good. Last year I had a really, really good season, so this year I should get the promotion, so everything should be good.
This off season, I was pretty much hurt the whole time, so I was going back and forth to Arizona rehabbing. But I lost a few pounds, and that's what they wanted anyway. So I'll be ready to go by spring training and hopefully move up as well.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming back to campus today, and look forward to seeing you here again and seeing you on TV.
No problem. Roll Tribe.
All right, Hunter, good to have you back here on campus today on opening day at that. Just talk a little bit about what you brought you back to ICC today to watch the Indians.
I love this place. Absolutely love this place. It's basically just one of the stepping stones in my life through baseball and everything like that. And I don't know, I don't get many off days to come. Well, I say off day, I had an inter squad today, but just being able to come back here and see some of the guys that I played with last year doing so well, and 2 victories, that's big time.
Well, you said that you love this place. Just talk a little bit about what ICC meant to you during your 2 years here before you went to Ole Miss.
Everything. ICC meant everything to me. I come in as a freshman, not really understanding how fast baseball can get, and then have to basically decide on what I wanted to do. I could lay down. I was the second string catcher my freshman year, and then coming in here my sophomore year, I had to make a decision on if I wanted to just sit around and not do anything, or try to get back on the horse and make it somewhere bigger. And thankfully I'm a little bit bigger now.
All right, well, talk about Ole Miss so far. I know you are about to gear up to get things going over there in Oxford. Just talk about you and what you've done to get ready for this upcoming season for the Rebels.
It's a definite culture shock because everybody loves Ole Miss baseball around here, and state baseball, I guess. But just one thing that I've noticed is just like how big and how small town this is compared to Oxford, I guess. And I've met a lot of good friends now over there in Oxford that I never thought I would. So I'm excited for the season, just working hard and supporting my teammates through it all.
All right, neighbors. Well, we're always rooting for you, so good luck this season.
Roll Tribe.
Now, we also had another special event go on Saturday as current freshman at ICC and Mississippi Teen USA, Kaylee Brooke McCullum, threw out the first pitch of the 2019 baseball season. We'll go to that special ceremony now here on Live with the Tribe.
Please direct your attention towards the pitcher's mound for today's opening pitch to be thrown out by Mississippi Teen USA, Kaylee Brooke McCullum. Joining Kaylee Brooke is ICC President Dr. Jay Allen. Kaylee Brooke is a freshman majoring in nursing here at ICC. Her plans are to continue her education at Mississippi University for Women and the University of Mississippi Medical Center. Her humanitarian endeavors consist of raising awareness towards decreasing the food insecurity rate in Mississippi. Kaylee Brooks' efforts were acknowledged by the national organization No Kid Hungry after raising more than 5 tons of food for the hungry. After a loss of a very dear friend, Kaylee Brooks has made it her mission to be part of the solution to teen suicide. She travels to schools across the state to talk to students about how to overcome self-doubt and deal with stress while encouraging them to have an open discussions with their peers, teachers, and parents regarding the feelings. It is important to Kaylee Brooke that teens feel safe, accepted, and understood. Itawamba Community College is excited to see what the years as Mississippi Teen USA holds for Kaylee Brooke. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Kaylee Brooke McCollum, Mississippi Teen USA.
Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Thank y'all. Good job, buddy.
Let's play some baseball.
When we come back to Live with the Tribe, we'll revisit an interview with former ICC coaches Max Munn and Paul Johnson from our 2018 version of Live with the Tribe. We'll be back with more right after this and a word from our sponsors on ESPN 95.1 The Fan.
At Itawamba Community College, your education is our priority. With a 20-to-1 student-teacher ratio, you will get the help that you need from your instructors. With 3 locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden, ICC offers classes that will prepare you to enter almost any job field of your choice. Apply online today at apply.iccms.edu and come be a part of our ICC family. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Sonic's $2.99 Car Hop Classic. A juicy quarter-pound double cheeseburger or a flavorful signature slinger with golden brown crispy tots. A deal so nice, you should order it twice, because it's only $2.99. Hurry in for Sonic's Car Hop Classic.
$2.99 for a Car Hop Classic? What a steal.
Steal? That's a heist. Put this on.
Oh, disguise.
I don't think I can eat in this. It's all part of the plan, my friend.
Get a quarter-pound double cheeseburger or a slinger plus tots for $2.99. Try it today.
Ever since you got that license, you've been on the move. We get it. With Student Checking, we have the tools to keep you going. Take care of that check from grandma without stopping at the bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And we'll even pay you back for ATM fees. So keep on going, and we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza. Then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome back to Live with the Tribe, a very special edition. We'll call this the Hall of Fame edition of Live with the Tribe. We've got a pair of innovators with us. The Hall of Famers, Coach Max Munn, Coach Paul Johnson, joining us on this week's show. Guys, first off, thanks for joining us. We typically have this conversation over lunch, so brought it on the show here. And Coach Max, we'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself, when you were here at ICC and everything that you did while you were here at ICC.
Max Munn started at IJC, Tupelo campus, August of 1974. Spent about 4.5 years there. Wanted to come to the Fulton campus. At that time, it was more a collegiate type campus with the dorms and athletics. And got a call one day from a dean of students, W. Boggs, says, I have a way to get you to Fulton campus, but you may want to do something for a couple of years that you don't want to do. I said, doesn't matter. Anything will be fine. I said, what? He said, coach women's basketball. I said, do what? So 14 years later, those 2 years were up.
Gotcha. Paulie?
Well, I came here in 1974 too, or 73. I can't remember exactly which was the fall, but I was hired by the late Ben Jones, which is a legendary coach, certainly in the Fulton area because he coached here at IHS for so many years and went on to some other areas too. But I was hired as an assistant football coach and took on those duties for about 1.5 years and kept those duties. But one spring there, they decided they wanted to start a tennis team. And of course, they looked for somebody who's supposedly not doing anything in the spring. So they approached me, and I said, "Well, yeah, show me what a ball looks like and a racket, and we'll take it on." So, about 45 years later, I retired as the ICC tennis coach.
Wow. And so you talk about that. And Max, you also kind of the same story with softball.
Yeah, reiterate just a little bit. I've always worked in the student affairs department, both campuses, and I retired here as director of student affairs. Well, shortly after, a year or two after basketball started, some of my girls came to me in the spring and says, "Coach, we don't have anything to do in the spring." I said, "What about studying?" They said, "No, you know what you're talking about." So we wanted to do softball, so very briefly I went to the dean of students and said, "Hey, we'll do the softball. It'll be relatively inexpensive, some travel, a little bit of equipment, wear women's basketball uniforms, and that I'll get it started and coach it." And they agreed, and then I conned the late and great Hall of Famer, my buddy Linda Partlow, to help him, and we did a co-coach for 3 years before I departed from that area. Linda kept it going.
Of course, you guys, that's kind of course, you're good buddies, but you also spent some time coaching with Coach Partlow. I had a chance to know her just a couple of years before she passed here at ICC. Just an amazing human being. Awesome. Just some of your memories, and you guys feel free to talk amongst yourselves maybe about some of your memories about Coach Partlow.
Well, I'll kind of tell you the story of how she became the women's tennis coach there. I coached probably 2 or 3 years as the head coach of both men and women, and I found out that Linda was on campus. She'd been at Tupelo too, I believe.
I think so.
And she came over this campus, and I knew that she had played tennis at the had played college tennis. So first thing I did was approach her about taking the girls, relieving me a little of my duties there, and she was she was acceptable to that idea. So she took over about 79, somewhere in there, and like Max said, just a real individual that you could really count on. What she said she'd do, and what I liked about her is she didn't take any bull. She didn't. I always liked it because she would. I'm not really a confrontationalist, so anything like going to the president for some new nets or something like that, I know she'd do it because she'd go in there and not say, "Can we get them?" Say, "When are we going to order them?" So I really enjoyed my years with Linda too.
Just a great person to work with. Obviously, had the man wasn't conjuring to helping me because that was an easy con.
Yeah.
I always remember I took her to student recruiting one time. That was one of the hats I wore here and we made it Shoney's in Tupelo. I guess we were going to Saltillo, somewhere like that. And I said, "Partlow, you want to get a snack before we go?" "Sure." She ordered a hamburger and fries and drink. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. So she loved to eat as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, you take a look back at where you were at IJC at the time, and look at the college now. Here in 2018, I was here in early 2000s. It's changed a lot since then. But from your time, from early 70s
74
to now, what is your impression on the growth of the college?
Unbelievable. It's like did a totally 180.
Yeah, unbelievable change. It always feels good to me to be able to understand where things were and how it has changed. I love to tell people, about that. In fact, I probably taught one of my first classes ever about right where we are.
Wow.
Back in the day, Fine Arts building was the building on campus that we tooted our horn about.
And of course, I remember before the Fine Arts, I actually lived about where the Fine Arts building is.
Wow.
So the campus has obviously changed.
I can remember.
I didn't know you was that old.
Can anybody remember the swimming pool?
I don't.
It used to be a swimming pool on campus.
Nice. Well, Max, you said you did 14 years of basketball. Any special memories, anything that kind of stood out in your mind there? I know I think you won, 8 Christmas, Thanksgiving tournaments down at Pearl River.
Remember, did we flip-flop between Pearl River and Jones?
Yeah.
It's kind of a pre-Thanksgiving. I don't remember. Actually, we won every one that we played in, which was nice to beat those guys. I think what stands out the most to me is so many of the players that got the All-State and they signed, I forget, 40-something signed, senior college scholarships. And today I see in the paper a lot of time where such and such former player is now teaching somewhere. And I just got the word that one of my former players Dr. Keeter Armstrong is being inducted into the Mississippi.
MACJC.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I've lost those
Yeah.
acronyms.
The Sports
Hall of Fame, and she's going to be, I guess, the commencement speaker at graduation. I just learned that, so those are special moments for me.
Yep, and Polly, I know you're actually not too far removed. You're only 2-3 years removed from coaching, so you still see some of the kids now that are even still in college. But I know you've got to kind of echo the same sentiments as Max.
Yeah. Well, it's like you say, you'd like to go back. I even have several players that I coached them and also coached their kids. I guess about 3 different ones. That. I thought I might hold on for grandkids, but I didn't make that. Of course, I started as a football coach, and in Wamba, IJC had obviously never won a championship and weren't known for their football too much there. And then when Ben Jones came in and hired me and Mike Eaton, and we saw the culture change, and he was. Coach Jones, had a vision of winning the state championship, and our 3rd year we did, and that always sticks out in my memory of knowing that we did something that a lot of people didn't think could be done, and then 2 years later we went down to Jones and beat them. They were a nationally ranked team that. We weren't given much of a chance, and won that 2nd state title. So, certainly those are good memories. All my tennis titles are all memories. I would like to say I was also an excellent cross country coach.
Yes.
For 3 years.
Here's the thing.
That's a new one to me. Where was that? Here.
Not only that, but you are probably on the ski coach here at ICC, or not coach, but teacher.
Right. I guess I offered the only snow skiing class ever taught at ICC. I also offered the only scuba diving class ever taught at ICC. In fact, you went on that trip, didn't you? Didn't we go down to the Bahamas?
Yeah, but I didn't do the scuba diving.
Okay. Well,
I might have got my face on the water, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to the Bahamas a long time ago.
Yeah.
Paul and I did a bunch of, and other folks, spring break, a lot of the college folks would go snow skiing in Colorado almost every year, 20-something years consecutive plus.
Well, and talk about those memories, because that's one of my favorite things to do when we do sit down and we're all together. You guys get to run and tell about old stories and things like that. What are some of those memories that you share during your time here at ICC?
Well, I'm going to let Max, he's the storyteller, especially of the snow skiing, so I'm going to give him the floor a little
I got to
while.
get on Paul a little bit. We took turns in driving, and I gave up my shift, and we started out and I looked over and had about 1/8 of a tank of gas. I remember that one time. And another time he was headed to Nebraska, so we had to correct him there. But the funniest thing, we went to Breckenridge, and he said he had been there before and knew Breckenridge, and we drove around about 30 minutes. He couldn't find anything, and he said it sure has changed since the last time I've been here. And the Larry Boggs says, when was the last time you had been here? He said, whatever that date was about 20 years earlier. So.
Now I have been on one of those cross country trips with Paulie. He and I loaded up and drove from Fulton, left about 4 o'clock in the morning, and ended up in Tucson, Arizona a couple of days later. Jeez. And I kind of got a story on that one as well, and you'll get a kick out of this. Paulie, we're taking turns driving, and Paul's like, well, I'm going to go back here and take a nap for about 4 or 5 hours. You drive and wake me up, and I'll take over. Well, his 4 or 5 hours passed, and I pulled over, tried to wake him up, and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to sleep a little bit more. Well, about 9 hours later, Paulie wakes up, and he's like, well, I guess I'm ready to drive now. So, he kind of hung me out to drive on that one.
I don't remember that.
But it was...
I was asleep.
Yeah, there you go. But it was one of those where it's those special memories that bond makes over the years that really keeps you bonded after ICC. And that's kind of what ICC is. It's that family atmosphere, that special family togetherness that even extends well after years at ICC. Just talk about how that is, not only with you guys, but also some of your former players that you still get to see and talk to.
Go ahead, Paul.
Well, a lot of tennis is kind of a sport that it transitions on into adulthood. Most people, that played football here, end that career either here or 2 years later at a college. Few make it to the pros, but most of the players that I have go on and play league, and I always enjoy. I see them everywhere. Would be Tupelo or Jackson or something. I go to a tournament and watch them. Some of them play. And just you can keep in touch with them that way. We've had just hundreds. I don't know, probably hundreds of players that have went on and played USTA league tennis. And one thing I've kind of noticed is that many of the USTA leagues in Mississippi is made up a lot of ex-community college players, whether it be ICC or Meridian or Jones or whatever. You see a lot of those players, and you remember them, they remember you. And so, of course, that's an excellent way to run into some of them, and then like I say, you see some of them doing well. We've got some doctors out there. We got one lawyer and a bunch of school teachers.
Yeah. So the good news is, if you get in trouble, you got a lawyer to take care of it. Max?
Well, in my case, I've been retired a long time from here, like almost 15 years, and I hadn't coached in a long time before retirement. So I think somewhere in the 94 season. So many years ago, 20 plus, 25 plus. I don't see too many of my players in person. I read about them in the papers, or maybe on Facebook. They're doing something in the teaching area, that type of thing.
But and to go talk about that, you may not think about it this way, but now looking back over your career, you are able to positively influence a lot of lives that have went on and spread your positive message along the way. Max, we'll start with you. How does that make you feel, knowing that at the time it may have not seemed like anything other than you being a coach, a job, but now that you look back over your career, you see people that you coach go on to be successful. That's got to give you a good feeling.
It does. You're try to get across early that you're here to play. Number one, for academics. Number two, you're getting a chance to play basketball. You'll not make your living playing basketball, so it gets you a good degree that you can do well for the next 35, 40 years in. So it's really good to see those folks out there doing exactly what we try to get across to them.
Yes, as you were saying that, I started thinking about, we in tennis we've had quite a few international players. So that's kind of, sometimes I think about, how ICC, the name of ICC is in Brazil and Australia, and in fact, I guess when the Rio Games, there was a picture that came out. One of my dad's, one of the former players, his dad, he had an ICC T-shirt on with he had his hand up on the torch.
Oh,
they
nice.
were taking the torch, I guess, through Brazil there, I guess,
awesome.
Like they did in the U.S. years ago. And he had that torch and had the ICC tennis on it.
We need to find that picture.
Yeah, you do.
That's pretty neat.
Sure do. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're starting to close things up here. Before we go, and I want to give you guys obviously an open floor to say thank you to anybody that's helped, been part of your career through along the way. But before we do that, I want each of you to tell me, what does ICC mean to you? From then and now, what does ICC mean to you?
Well, it was a great career, a great place to work, and from a student standpoint, it was a great place for students to start. If it wasn't for community colleges, the 15 and across the Mississippi, there's a lot of folks that wouldn't be getting an education, and I'm one of them. I came from a very small school down in Little Rock, Mississippi called Beulah Hubbard High School, and if it wasn't for East Central Junior College, I would probably have been farming today. Nothing wrong with farming, but I like working at college when I did farming. So it's a great place to work, great opportunity for young kids.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same for me. I'm a product of Itawamba Junior College. And again, it would have been, I would probably could have went on to college, but it was just a good transition. I did play football here 2 years, so that was some memories I formed back then. I guess maybe that's why I know a little more about the campus. I was here, during those years in the middle 60s also. But, I just think about, here's my greatest pleasure. Players come back and say, Coach, this was the best 2 years of my life. And you can't beat that.
That's true. Well, guys, got a couple more minutes here. I know there's a lot of hopefully some former players watching, some family members, things like that. And I know you guys may go back and watch it on Facebook later. Just give you an opportunity now to kind of just address anybody you want to address. Keep it nice though, Paulie. No, I'm kidding. But just a thank you, or maybe a hello, or maybe just a few words of encouragement.
Oh, geez, so many people made it possible to, it seemed like doors just kept on opening. It was just a great place to be, great time to spend 29 years of my 34 years of education and of a career. And when I'm speaking to people now, or just casual conversation, we talk about ICC. I find myself still saying we do this, or we. And I'll always try to have a go-to person at the college when the students outside ask me something I don't know anymore. It was Larry Bach, now I understand it's Marty Cooper. Yeah. Who do I go to?
Yep.
Well, I just think about of course, I transitioned there. I always think of Carl Comer kind of helped me in my transition from being a football coach to exclusively a tennis coach. So I kind of thank him for helping me at that area, and it's just been my home. I've raised my kids here, retired here, and IJC, ICC will just always be a part of me.
Specifically, W. Boggs, getting the transfer to Fulton, Carl Comer, as he was retiring, took over many of his responsibilities. So those two are most important in my life as far as opening more doors, for sure.
Well, as somebody that's part of the ICC family now, we thank both of y'all for laying that foundation to help ICC become what it is today. I don't think really enough people understand that people are not necessarily respect, but give the proper thank yous to those that came before us to be able to lay that foundation to help us continue to build. Because you talk about starting the first softball team. You started the first softball team wearing basketball jerseys. They're now ranked, or at one time this season was ranked the number 5 team in the country. So that just shows from the humble beginnings to now a great program.
Yeah, I keep up with them. I still, as a coach many years ago, when I get the newspaper, first thing I do is open the sports page. I knew about that they lost 2 close ones to Des Moines.
Yep. And that's going to do it for today's edition of Live with the Tribe. If you would like to hear or see the complete interview with Max and Paul, we do encourage you to visit our YouTube page, search Let's Go ICC. We do have a playlist available for last year's Live with the Tribe shows. You can search that and find the conclusion of this interview. Coach Max and Coach Paul, 2 entertaining guys, and we appreciate everything they did to help lay the foundation for all the great things that we are able to enjoy at ICC. We'll be back tomorrow right here on ESPN 95.1 The Fan and ESPNMISS.com at noon for Tuesday's edition of Live with the Tribe. This has been Adam Gore. Have a blessed day, and as always, roll Tribe.
At Itawamba Community College, your education is our priority. With a 20-to-1 student-teacher ratio, you will get the help that you need from your instructors. With 3 locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden, ICC offers classes that will prepare you to enter almost any job field of your choice. Apply online today at apply.iccms.edu and come be a part of our ICC family. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.